Have you ever felt like your brain is an F1 racetrack where thousands of thoughts, worries, and worst-case scenarios just zoom past at light speed? You want to start a new project, learn a new skill, or simply send an important email, but before your fingers even touch the keyboard, a little voice whispers, "Is this okay? What if I fail? What will people think?" If you're between 18 and 35, looking for direction and motivation to move forward, then chances are you're all too familiar with the archenemy called overthinking. It's the invisible barrier that makes us procrastinate, suffer from analysis paralysis, and miss thousands of opportunities just because we're stuck in the endless loop of things that haven't happened. Hello, I'm Courage to Rise, and in today's super detailed video, we won't just talk about overthinking. We're going to break down 14 secrets, or what I call thought blocker tools, proven effective to help you switch from analysis mode to action mode. These aren't just generic pieces of advice. These are practical techniques accompanied by easy-to-apply examples that help young adults like us regain focus, motivation, and ultimately significant progress in our studies, work, and life. Get your notebooks and pens ready because after watching this video, you will no longer be trapped in that thought cage. You will have a clear map to take immediate action.
Secret 1. The 5-second rule, the ultimate anti-procrastination weapon. The first and most crucial secret to breaking the overthinking loop is to apply a powerful yet simple tool, the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. This is the physics of action. When you have an instinct, an idea, or a goal, you must act within 5 seconds before your brain activates its self-stopping mechanism. This self-stopping mechanism is overthinking. It sends a barrage of worries and doubts to keep you safe in your comfort zone. Counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 helps you interrupt the old thought pattern and forces your body to move. For example, you need to wake up early to exercise. The alarm rings and your first thought is 5 more minutes of sleep. This is where overthinking begins. Immediately, you count. 5, I'll feel healthier. 4, I have this goal. 3, I must do it. 2, stand up. 1, up. And you must roll out of bed before the count is finished. This action doesn't allow your brain time to negotiate or analyze. Visualize it like launching a rocket. Once the countdown starts, there's no stopping. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Small tip, use the 5-second rule for the smallest actions. Sending an email, washing dishes, asking a question in class. The more you practice with small actions, the easier it becomes to apply it to bigger decisions.
Secret 2. Establish a worry time slot. Control the flow of thoughts. Overthinking often appears suddenly, hijacking your mind at inconvenient times, like in the middle of a meeting or late at night. The second secret is to compartmentalize your thoughts by establishing a worry time slot. This is a great CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy technique. Instead of trying to suppress negative thoughts, you postpone them. You tell yourself, "Thanks for the reminder, but now is not the time. Let's meet at 7 p.m." Suppose you're working and suddenly you worry about not having enough money to pay the bills. Instead of spending half an hour analyzing the problem, you take a small piece of paper and write "Bills, handle at 7 p.m." Then you immediately return to work. At 7 p.m., you sit down, read the note, and spend a maximum of 15 to 20 minutes to actually worry or find solutions. Often, 80% of the issues you wrote down are no longer as important or are easier to solve than you thought. Imagine the worry time slot as a reservoir. You can't stop the water from flowing in, but you control where it's stored and when it's released. Small tip, never set the worry time slot close to bedtime. This will activate your brain right before you need to rest. Ideally, set it in the mid-afternoon or early evening. And make sure you use the worry time to find solutions, not just to worry aimlessly. Secret 3. The 80-20 rule for decisions. Embrace imperfection. Overthinking is often the result of perfectionism. We think we need to gather 100% of the information or have a 100% perfect plan before we're allowed to act. Secret 3 is to apply the 80-20 rule, Pareto Principle, to your decision-making. Instead of waiting for perfection, 100%, aim for 80% certainty or good enough to proceed. Remember, making a decision at 80% and starting to learn from reality is always more effective than being paralyzed by 100% theoretical information. The last 20% of information often consumes 80% of your time and energy, yet yields little added value. For example, you want to learn a new language. Instead of spending 2 weeks comparing 10 different learning apps, reading all the reviews, and finding the perfect textbook, you choose the app or course that 80% of the community recommends. Sign up immediately and spend those 2 weeks actually learning. If after 2 weeks it doesn't fit, you now have real-world data to make a 100% better decision. Visual illustration. The path to success is not a smooth, golden paved road, but a rough dirt road. We fix the car while driving, not waiting until we have the perfect car to dare to drive. Small tip. Set a time box for information gathering. For example, I only have 30 minutes to research this laptop. When the 30 minutes are up, regardless of how you feel, you must make a decision. Time is the enemy of perfection.
Secret 4. Set the 3 options limit. Turn off overanalysis mode. Overthinking is often fueled by choice overload syndrome. When faced with 10 or 20 options, our brains freeze up. Secret 4 is to proactively set a hard limit. Only consider a maximum of 3 most viable options. The reason is that after 3 options, the marginal utility of seeking a 4th or 5th option drastically decreases, while the mental and time costs skyrocket. This is an effective way to calm your fear center brain, amygdala, forcing it to focus on comparing the 3 best options instead of endlessly searching for the perfect one. For example, you need to choose an online course to upgrade your skills. Searching across platforms can yield hundreds of results. You set a rule. 1. Ask a trusted mentor. 2. Find the highest rated course on a specific platform. 3. Check out one quality free option. Stop at just 3. Then you only compare these 3 options based on 3 core criteria. Example, cost, completion time, output result. The decision is made in 10 minutes instead of 10 hours. This is how effective leaders make decisions. They don't look for 100 options. They ask their teams to present 2 or 3 best alternatives so they can simply choose and move forward. Small tip. If you can't find 3 good options, create a 3rd one yourself. Do something minimal right now. This option always wins because it helps you break the paralysis.
Secret 5. Worst-case scenario cost analysis, exposing baseless fear. The deep root of overthinking is fear. We worry about the worst things that could happen, but we never take the time to actually quantify how bad that worst-case scenario truly is. Secret 5 is to use the worst-case scenario cost analysis technique. This is an exercise popularized by Stoicism and venture capitalists. You must write down exactly what the worst outcome is, and the plan B to deal with it. When you bring fear into the light and quantify it, money, time, reputation, you realize that 99% of worst-case scenarios are survivable and reversible. This immediately calms your fight-or-flight response. For example, you are overthinking about submitting an application for your dream job because you fear rejection. Worst-case analysis. What is the absolute worst that can happen? Answer: they send a rejection email. Real cost: feeling disappointed for 1 to 2 days. Plan B. 1. Ask them for feedback. 2. Immediately apply to company B. 3. Spend a month learning skill X. As soon as you see Plan B, the fear of failure shrinks. You realize that failure is just a small learning cost, not the end of the world. Visual illustration. Use a notebook or a note-taking app to write down the fear. Moving the fear from your head onto paper is the first act of control. Small tip. Add a fourth column: cost of inaction. You will realize that the cost of not applying or not starting the project is far worse than any potential failure.
Secret 6. Convert thoughts to to-do list. Regain clarity. Overthinking is often a chaotic mess of unfinished tasks, unorganized ideas, and forgotten self-promises. Your brain is not designed to be a storage facility. It is designed to solve problems. Secret 6 is the brain dump technique, combined with action. Whenever you feel overwhelmed by thoughts, grab a pen and paper or open an app and write down everything that's running through your head. After the dump, categorize each thought into 1. Actionable, 2. Postpone, or 3. Discard. Anything that is actionable must be converted into a concrete step on your to-do list. This transforms abstract worry into tangible tasks. For example, suppose you're overthinking about your career. You write down, must change jobs. What will my boss think? Need to learn Python. Next month's rent. Convert to action. What will my boss think? Discard. Must change jobs. Action. Search for 3 relevant jobs on LinkedIn. 15 minutes. Need to learn Python. Action. Sign up for basic Python course. Next month's rent. Postpone to worry time. Visual illustration. When you write it down, the thought moves from RAM, temporary, easily overloaded memory, to the hard drive, safe storage. You free up mental energy for the task at hand. Small tip: ensure every item on your to-do list is actionable within 30 minutes. If the goal is too big, like write a book, break it down into the very first step. Write the outline for Chapter 1.
Secret 7. Apply the 2-minute rule. Eliminate small blocker tasks. Overthinking isn't just about big decisions, but the accumulation of numerous small tasks we procrastinate on. These tiny tasks sit in our working memory, constantly draining mental energy. Secret 7 is to apply the 2-minute rule from the Getting Things Done philosophy. If a task can be completed in 2 minutes or less, do it now. This rule doesn't just help you get things done, it builds momentum and reduces cognitive load. Every time you complete a 2-minute task, you send a small signal to your brain. I am a person of action. I can do this. This is a powerful catalyst against the paralysis of overthinking. For example, you look at your overthinking list and see send meeting confirmation email, book a haircut appointment, put away folded laundry. All of these tasks take less than 2 minutes. If you postpone them, they accumulate and make you feel overwhelmed overall.
Instead, as soon as you see them, use 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, secret 1, and complete them immediately. Visual illustration. Treat every completed small task like a building block of self-confidence. The more blocks you have, the less likely you are to overthink the big wall, the big goal, in front of you. Small tip. Use the 2-minute rule to start a new habit. For example, if you want to meditate, just meditate for 2 minutes every day. 2 minutes of meditation is infinitely better than overthinking how to achieve a perfect 30-minute session.
Secret 8. Challenge repetitive thoughts. Question the voice in your head. Overthinking often revolves around the same old anxious scenarios. These are repetitive thoughts that offer no solutions, only drain energy. Your brain is running a faulty program. Secret 8 is to apply the cognitive challenge method. When a repetitive anxious thought appears, for example, "I will never succeed," don't accept it immediately. Instead, become an internal detective and ask sharp questions. What is the evidence? Have I overcome something similar before? Did the worst-case scenario actually happen? Asking these questions forces you to switch from emotional mode, overthinking, to logical mode, reality analysis. Most repetitive thoughts lack solid evidence and will disintegrate when cross-examined. For example, suppose you are preparing a presentation, and the repetitive thought is, "I'm going to mess it up. Everyone will laugh at me." You challenge, "What is the evidence that I will mess it up?" Answer, "None. I've already practiced 3 times." Have people laughed at me before? Answer, "No. Everyone praised me last time." You realize the thought is a negative prediction, not reality. Visual illustration. Treat your fear like a friend who is panicking. You don't argue with them, but you calmly ask them for evidence to reassure them with logic. Small tip. Write down the answers to these challenging questions. When that repetitive thought appears the next day, you just need to reread the recorded factual answer. This saves you from solving the same mental problem multiple times. Secret 9. The cognitive gap technique. Separate yourself from your thoughts. The biggest problem with overthinking is that we identify ourselves with our thoughts. We believe that I am what I am thinking, giving negative thoughts the power to dominate our emotions and actions. Secret 9, or the cognitive gap technique, is widely used in meditation and mindfulness. The goal is to recognize that you are not your thoughts. Thoughts are merely transient events in the mind, like clouds drifting across the sky. The way to practice this is to preface the anxious thought with a phrase, "I notice I am having the thought that." This simple statement creates a gap between you, the observer, and the thought, the observed object. Instead of saying, "I am a failure," which immediately makes you feel terrible, say instead, "I notice I am having the thought that I am a failure." Immediately, you've taken a step back. You are no longer that failure. You are the one observing the thought. You can smile at it and let it pass. Visual illustration. Imagine you are sitting on the riverbank and each thought is a leaf floating by. You don't jump into the river to chase the leaf. You just sit there and observe it. Small tip. To enhance the cognitive gap, you can label your thoughts. For example, "This is a judgment thought," or "This is a baseless worst-case scenario." Labeling helps you recognize it and reduces its emotional power.
Secret 10. Focus on the smallest next step, the zigzag diary method. Overthinking often emerges when we look at a goal that's too big. I need to build $1 million business. The brain immediately becomes overwhelmed and triggers a defense mechanism, paralysis. Secret 10 is the technique of breaking down tasks until they become ridiculously easy. We don't look at the destination, we just ask, what is the smallest, most insignificant thing I need to do to move 1 centimeter forward? This is the core of the zigzag method. When you're stuck at point A, you don't need to see point Z, you just need to see point B, and from B, see C. You move forward along the zigzag of tiny steps, and each tiny step is a victory against overthinking. For example, big goal, find a new job in the AI field. Overthinking makes you think, I need to complete courses X, Y, Z, write 100 resumes, I'm not good enough. Smallest next step, open LinkedIn and search for one person working in the AI field for reference, or even smaller, write the title for my resume. This only takes 5 minutes, but it breaks the paralysis. Visual illustration. Imagine you have to clean a messy room. You don't try to clean everything at once. You only pick up one piece of trash. This action automatically triggers the brain to continue. Small tip. Write this smallest next step on a sticky note and put it right in front of you. Only that single goal. When you complete it, rip it off and write the next smallest step. This creates a continuous chain of small wins.
Secret 11. Use the 10-minute deal principle. Start without inspiration. One of the biggest traps of overthinking is the false belief that you need to feel motivated before you start. This is incorrect. Motivation is often the result of action, not the cause of it. Secret 11 is to use the 10-minute deal principle, or minimum start. When you feel overthinking and want to postpone an important task, you make a deal with your brain. I only have to work on this for 10 minutes, no more. 10 minutes is too short a time for your brain to trigger resistance. And the magic is, after 10 minutes, you have usually broken the inertia and will automatically want to continue, because starting is the hardest part. For example, you need to start writing a big report, but you overthink the structure, the figures, and fear the blank screen. You tell yourself, just 10 minutes. I will only write on the introduction for 10 minutes, no matter how bad it is. After 10 minutes, you can stop. But 9 times out of 10, you'll find you finished the opening and automatically move to the next section. Visual illustration. This is like starting an old car. Pushing the car, starting, is the hardest part, but once it's rolling, the engine takes over. Small tip. Use a timer. When the 10 minutes are up, you'd have 3 options. 1. Stop and take a break. 2. Renegotiate for another 10 minutes. Or 3. Continue working freely. Whatever you choose, you've beaten the initial procrastination. Secret 12. Stop mind reading. Avoid the assumption trap. Social overthinking is a common form. We spend hours analyzing messages, words, or facial expressions of others, self-assuming they think I'm stupid. They don't like my idea. I must have said something wrong. Secret 12 is to recognize and immediately stop mind reading, a common cognitive distortion. The truth is, you cannot know what others are thinking, and 99% of your negative assumptions are wrong, based solely on your own insecurities. This mind-reading behavior only increases anxiety and causes you to withdraw from interactions. Instead of assuming, we need to replace it with clarity or tolerance. For example, you send a proposal to your boss. After 30 minutes with no reply, you overthink, the boss hates it, I should retract it. Instead of mind-reading, use the tolerance for uncertainty principle. I don't know what the boss is thinking. Maybe they're busy. I will check back in 4 hours. If the overthinking is too big, there is only one solution. Actively seek clarity. Send a short, polite email. Hi, boss.
I just wanted to confirm you received the email. Thank you. This is action, not speculation. Visual illustration. Treat other people's minds like a black box. You don't have the key. Trying to open it only exhausts you. Small tip. When you're overthinking about others, ask yourself, what is the most generous interpretation? Maybe the colleague didn't reply, not because they hate you, but because they're distracted by something personal. Always choose the best assumption.
Secret 13, the 4-7-8 breathing method. Interrupt emotional activation in 60 seconds. Overthinking is often accompanied by physical symptoms, a racing heart, muscle tension, a feeling of jittery anxiety. This is the reaction of the sympathetic nervous system sounding an alarm. Secret 13 is to use a powerful and free tool to immediately interrupt this anxious state, the 4-7-8 breathing method. This technique, popularized by Dr. Andrew Weil, helps activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. When you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds, you send a clear signal to the brain. Everything is okay. There is no immediate danger. This slows the heart rate and reduces the production of stress hormones, cortisol. For example, you were in the middle of a tense discussion and you start overthinking what you just said. A feeling of anxiety wells up. Instead of reacting, pause for a moment or excuse yourself for a drink and perform 3 cycles of 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale 4, hold 7, exhale 8. After just 60 seconds, you will notice cognitive clarity returning, allowing you to approach the issue with logic instead of emotion. Visual illustration. Inhale through the nose, 4, hold, 7, and exhale through the mouth, making a gentle whoosh sound, 8. Ensure the tongue rests gently behind the upper front teeth. Small tip. Use 4-7-8 when preparing for sleep. Nighttime overthinking is the enemy of sleep. Performing 4 cycles of 4-7-8 breathing will calm the mind and help you drift off faster.
Secret 14, the 10-10-10 perspective technique, making long-term decisions. Overthinking about a major decision often happens because we only focus on the immediate impact, immediate consequences. We get stuck in the fear of others' reactions or the discomfort of change right now. Secret 14 is to apply the 10-10-10 technique popularized by Susie Welch. When facing a decision that triggers overthinking, you force yourself to answer 3 time-based questions. 1. How will this decision affect me in the next 10 minutes? Immediate emotional impact. 2. How will this decision affect me in the next 10 months? Midterm strategic impact. 3. How will this decision affect me in the next 10 years? Long-term life impact. This technique immediately reduces the magnification of immediate fear and allows you to assess the true value of the action over time. You will realize that what matters in 10 minutes is often insignificant in 10 years. For example, you are overthinking about quitting your job to start a business. 10 minutes, extremely difficult, terrible anxiety, possibly short-term regret. 10 months, maybe financial difficulty, but you have an MVP product, learned many new skills, and feel more autonomous. 10 years, you will be an independent business owner, or if you failed, you have a great experience story to tell and no regret for not trying. The 10-minute anxiety is gone. Visual illustration. Imagine looking through a camera lens. When you zoom in, 10 minutes, everything looks chaotic, but when you zoom out, 10 years, you see the overall picture clearly and peacefully. Small tip. If the decision brings great fear in 10 minutes, but huge satisfaction and progress in 10 years, it is almost certainly the right decision to counter overthinking.
Secret 15. Close the feedback loop. Learn from action. Overthinking breaks the natural human feedback loop. This loop should be action, feedback, adjustment. But overthinking turns it into thought, paralysis. Secret 15 is to consciously try to complete this loop. After you take an action, no matter how small, don't rush to the next thing. Take 5 minutes to review what happened. You ask yourself, 1. What went right? 2. What didn't go as expected? 3. What will I do differently next time? This turns failure into data and success into a pattern to replicate. By doing this, you train your brain to believe that action is the best way to find answers, rather than sitting and thinking. Overthinking is just trying to solve an action problem by mental means. For example, you use the 10-minute rule to send a difficult email. Now the email is sent. Review, 5 minutes. 1. Right. I overcame the procrastination. 2. Not right. I made one small typo. 3. Next time, I will take 30 seconds to reread before hitting send. Done. Loop closed. You have learned a lesson, and the brain feels satisfied. Visual illustration. This is how pilots learn. They don't just fly, action. They conduct a debrief to analyze every small mistake. That's why they become much better than those who just dream about flying. Small tip: schedule this review. If it's a big project, schedule a 30-minute review at the end of the week. If it's a small action, do it within 5 minutes of completion. Never let action go without feedback.
Overthinking is not a personality flaw. It is a learned mental habit. And like any habit, it can be replaced with the right tools. Remember the 3 main pillars. Interrupt the thought cycle. Break the paralysis right when it starts. Focus the mindset. Set limits and question assumptions. Take small action. Build momentum with easy steps. Quick review of the 3 most important secrets. Start with the 5-second rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Use the 3 options limit and 80-20. Learn 4-7-8 breathing for overload. You now have 15 tools. Don't overthink which one is best or try to use them all. That's another trap. Choose only one secret that you feel is easiest to apply, maybe the 5-second rule or the 2-minute rule. Commit to practicing it 3 times today. Remember, the goal is not to never overthink again. The goal is to reduce the time you spend on it. From 1 hour of worry, reduce it to 5 minutes of action. Be the actor in your life, not the commentator on your own life. Clarity comes from engagement, not speculation. I wish you success.